Hi, Luke, the Hard Times guy. Just going to sit here and talk to you for a little while today. Don't know everything that I'm going to talk about. I got a rough outline for a beginning, but I might get anywhere and everywhere today. While I was thinking about this, I thought, boy, I could sit there and start with something in mind, and I could probably talk 10, 12 hours, maybe longer than that, just one thing after another where one thing leads to another. Because that's how my thoughts go when I start thinking about what I want to say in some of these videos. But today I'm going to start talking about, first of all, Jordan Peterson. I just finished one of his books. I don't know how many he's written. I know he's written at least 2 because I've read 2 of them. This is the one I just finished. It's called Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. And the first book of his that I read was called 12 Rules for Life or something like that. Had that in the title of it. It was a pretty difficult read because he talks about things way more in depth than I'm able to, or even able to think about them. I have to go slow just to keep up with what he's saying, and sometimes I have to read it over again. In this book, it took me longer to read this book than any book I ever read. Not because I didn't want to read it. I did want to read it, and I wanted to get something from it. And so I had to go slow, and I had to repeat things several different times. And it was just a real struggle. I'd say I spent 4 or 5 months reading this book. And I've read books this size. This one here's got, I don't know, 390 pages in it. Medium print. I've read books with way more pages and smaller print than this. I've read them in 3 or 4 days. I might have read, I think I read Roots, Alex Haley's novel. I think I read it in 2 days. Some books I just sit down to read them, and I don't get up till I've read the whole book. Maybe books about this size. But boy, it took me a while to read this one. Jordan Peterson makes me think about things. And when I thought I'd arrived and was the person I was going to always be, I was wrong. And he's pointed that out to me. We can always improve. We can always make things better. We can make things better for other people. We can make our own lives better. We can make ourselves a better person. And so he's got me thinking about that. And when you start thinking about things like that, you realize how short time is. And I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to go on with this first. Jan Lee. I don't know whether I've mentioned Jan in previous videos or not. Probably have, because I wander all over the place. Jan Lee's a friend of mine. Met him working at GM. He was a really young man. I was fairly young when we met. I'm older than him, I don't know, 10, 15 years. But we became friends over time, working together, having some common interests, having some philosophical discussions about things. We agree on a lot of things. We disagree on things, and so we've had some interesting discussions. And he introduced me to Jordan Peterson. He was watching, he watches my videos, or some of them. And he was watching a video, and after he watched it, he decided that he needed to comment on it, and he sent me a message that said, sounded like I'd been reading Jordan Peterson or something to that effect, listening to Jordan Peterson or reading Jordan Peterson. I didn't even know who Jordan Peterson was, never heard of him. But that tweaked my interest, and I started looking at some of his YouTube videos, and then I bought his first book, and then one of my daughters bought this book, and she gave it to me to read before she reads it. I don't think she'll ever get it read, but she might. But I got to blame Jan Lee for Jordan Peterson and what Jordan Peterson's done to me. And Jan sent me another text last week, and I don't know what he'd been watching last week, but he'd been watching some of my videos again. He commented about the videos and how he watched them, and he encouraged me to keep making them. Don't quit, he said. I don't know what made him think I was going to quit, but I have slowed down some of late for various reasons. One is I'm tired. Two is I got so much to do, I'm never going to get it done. And I don't know, one thing to another slowed me down, but I never had any intention of quitting. But he seems to think that there's some value in what I do, and I appreciate that. Words of encouragement are always good for everybody. So thanks, Jan. Thanks for encouraging me. He said what I was doing was a noble work. And I had to chuckle at that. First of all, it's not work. I enjoy doing this. Started doing it in the early parts of COVID when we were all quarantined. And I was isolated from everybody, including my family. I started doing this. I had to teach myself to do all the technical things that are associated with doing it, and man, that was slow too. Not very good at a lot of that stuff. Still not. Still get aggravated. But he called it a noble work, and that caused me to chuckle. It's not a noble work. It's a labor of love. I'm doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because I got a reason. I'm doing it because I want people that I love to be able to share some of these things for their lives and their children's lives and their grandchildren's lives. But anyway, thanks, Jan, for the words of encouragement. Willard Cogan was my father-in-law. And when he died, at a relatively young age, my way of thinking nowadays, he was 67. I was impressed. At the funeral home during his visitation by the number of people that came from out of his past, that came to pay their respects to him and to tell someone how he had helped them by encouraging them when they were young. And this didn't happen just once or twice. There were a multitude of people that told me stories like that while I stood there at Day and Carter with my family and Willard's family. Came to tell me stories about Willard when he was younger and they were young people, that how he had helped and encouraged them. And it's so easy to do. Think about that. I purposed after that to try to be an encourager, to be someone that someone might say that about me at some point in time. Luke encouraged me at some point in my life. And it's cost us so little to just recognize that someone's struggling, or recognize that someone's done something that was an accomplishment, and just encourage them. in the situation they're in, or in the circumstances that they find themselves, or in the endeavor that they're undertaking. Be an encourager. Next Sunday, this coming Sunday, March 20th, it's my birthday. I'll be 75 years old. And I feel pretty good for 75, I guess, but I don't feel as good as I did when I was 70 or 65 or 60. I'm starting to hurt, starting to move slow, starting to move awkwardly, starting to be tired, take more naps, have less energy, get down in the chair and can't get back up. So I realized how precious time is. And I realized how much I wanted to do and how much I have to do. I'm not going to get it all done. And I'm going to make videos till I can't make videos. But I'm still not going to get everything said I want to say. No, I'm not going to get all the problems that I try to address fixed. I'm not going to get all the people that I want to know I love them told in a way that they understand and can grasp and hold on to. But I'm going to try. Promise you that. I'm going to try. Got something else here in front of me. That right there, can you see that? That's what people would refer to as a tin. In other words, it's made out of tin. It's a box. You might recognize that logo. Case knife came in that. And I don't know whether it was last year or year before last. And I don't know whether it was Christmas or Father's Day or maybe my birthday. I don't know. Don't remember. But I was given, and this box had a knife in it. There's the knife. It's case XX. Got those two blades in it. Pretty nice knife. Young lady walked up and gave me that, her and her husband. She's about my youngest daughter's age. I don't know why they gave it to me. There's something about me that they like. There's something about me that made them think that I was worthy of a gift like that. And that's not an inexpensive gift. I don't know what one of them cost, but a guy likes knives and trades them and buys them and sells them all the time. He saw that knife. I had it out cleaning my fingernails with it, and he said, "What do you want for that?" And I said, "That's not for sale." He said, "Can I look at it?" And I said, "Sure." I gave it to him, let him look at it. I said, "Guy, give me that knife." He said, "I'll give you $50 for that." I said, "No, don't want to sell it." He said, "I'll give you $75 for it." I said, "No, I don't want to sell that knife." He said, "What would you take for that knife? What's it take to buy that knife?" I said, "What part of I don't want to sell it do you not understand? Somebody give me that knife. It don't matter what it's worth to a knife trader. It's worth a whole lot more than that to me because somebody gave it to me. Somebody thought enough of me to say, here is a nice gift. I want you to have it." And that knife isn't for sale. It's just all there is to it. I didn't go on to say that, but some member of my family is going to own this knife someday. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to give it to somebody myself. I'm going to give it to one of my grandkids are one of my great-grandkids. They're going to own this. And they're going to know the story about how I got it. And while I'm at that, got another little box here. And this is a cardboard box, not near as fancy as that tin. But got a knife in it, another case knife. And that same people that give me this one last week, give me this one. I'm going to get it out and show it to you. Another case double X. There it is. I don't know how good you can see it in that picture. Here's the other side of it. See that white pearl handle? And it's got that red swirl in it. It's pretty. And it's got a different blade configuration than that one does. Blades in it look like this. You probably can't read it, but that blade right there's got inscriptions on it. I can't read what all it says. I probably could if I put these glasses on, but I'm not going to. One of the things it says is peppermint. My grandchildren, some of them, maybe all of them, some of my nieces and nephews, one in particular would be Shauna, I'm sure, can tell you that when I was younger, I used to always have peppermint hard candies in my pocket. They would come up to me and they'd say, "Pap," or "Uncle Luke, do you have a peppermint?" And I'd get in my pocket and pull them out a peppermint, or I'd get in my pocket and I'd reach behind the ear and say, "No, I don't, but here's one." And we'd have fun because I had a peppermint. I carried them around for breath fresheners. Actually, just usually had a few hard candy, individually wrapped peppermints in my pocket. I don't do that anymore. You might find me occasionally with a wintergreen mint, but the peppermints are gone. But this knife, I might put a peppermint in my pocket again for a little while. In fact, I think I will. Carry this knife just enough to my kids to get used to me having peppermints in my pockets again. In other words, that's called a peppermint knife, and it's a limited edition knife. They only made so many of them. It's a special edition. Limited number of them made. And that's just a beautiful knife. And again, I don't know what it costs. Don't try to buy it from me though, because it ain't for sale either. Not going to sell this. It's just like this one. I love it because of how I got it. And when it's not mine anymore, it's because I gave it to somebody, or it's because my wife gave it to somebody at my instructions after I was gone. Somebody thought enough of me to think about me and buy that knife and give it to me. Like I said, I don't know why, but I love it that they did. I love it. Gosh, think how much we could improve the world if just every once in a while each of us did something like that blessed somebody like this blessed me. I don't know how long it's been since I started this video. Probably should just end it right here. Got a lot more I could say, and just what I've said so far has caused me to think of so many other things. But I'm going to quit. I'm going to stop right now and say I'm a hard times guy. Hope you enjoyed this message. Till the next time, have a good day.